before politics and everything else, I used to be a government official. And way back in 2003, I was a civilian senior intelligence analyst at the Office of National Assessments here in Canberra, which was Australia's senior intelligence agency. It's now called the Office of National Intelligence. Back then it was the Office of National Assessments. And anyway, in the lead up to the invasion of Iraq in 2003, I formed the view that the official case for war was fraudulent and downright dishonest, because you'd remember in 2003 the Howard government was arguing that Osama bin Laden was amassing a massive arsenal of weapons of mass destruction, and it was only a matter of time before those weapons were used not only on Iraq's neighbours, but there was talk about in 40 minutes they could launch a missile at the UK. Is coming back, some of these stories? Probably some of them is forgotten, but so sorry about this. And then there was also the other part of the official case for war was that Osama bin Laden was cooperating with Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden, and not only did Iraq have this massive arsenal of weapons of mass destruction, it was only a matter of time before Iraq gave some of those weapons to the terrorists, and we'd all be in peril. So the Australian case for war was simply that, and I formed the view that the Australian case for war was untrue. That there was no massive arsenal of weapons of mass destruction, there was no cooperation with Al-Qaeda, that Iraq in fact posed no imminent threat to anyone with its much diminished military, that what we actually needed was the weapons inspectors to have more time to try and work out the situation in Iraq. Anyway, I decided that I couldn't support the policy anymore, and not only should I resign from ONA, but that I should go to the media. And in fact, I initially went to Laurie Oakes from Channel 9, and so I resigned. I went straight to the media. I got myself in more strife in the early 70s because you don't do that sort of thing in the intelligence services. You don't resign. You just follow orders, as much as that was debunked in the 1940s about just following orders. And I called the Prime Minister and Foreign Minister a liar. So you can imagine I got some terrible strife. Although I suggest less strife then than I would get into now. And I'll come back to that point because I think it's a really important point maybe to close on. So I lost a job that I loved. I became unemployable in Canberra. In fact, I like to joke there was only one job in Canberra I could ever get in the future, and I got it. My reputation was trashed. Everyone from Senator David Johnson in the Senate to journalists like Andrew Bolt. The then Prime Minister's Chief of Staff, Arthur Senadinos, worked the press gallery saying I was mentally unhinged, hadn't worked in Iraq, didn't know what I was talking about. Head of ONA said I had done nothing on Iraq, didn't know what I was talking about. So I lost my job, my reputation was trashed. I risked jail. Even then, it was an offence under the Crimes Act for a current or former federal public servant or official to disclose anything, any information obtained in the course of their employment, punishable by 2 years jail. So I put myself at that risk, and there was probably any number of other things even back then they might have tried on me. Although I think because I was instantly catapulted into a fairly high public profile, and so quickly, and there was such, do you remember those protests in February 2003? Millions of people around the world. Even in Australia, there was such strong public opposition to the war. I think the government had the sense at the time to realise it wouldn't be in their best interest to turn me into a political prisoner. And then, of course, it was only a matter of a few months. They hadn't found any weapons of mass destruction. They hadn't found any evidence of cooperation with Al-Qaeda. And, so I was spared.